I heat up, I can't cool down.
Hey YouTube, I got a Maxxair Maxxfan Deluxe model 5100K ceiling fan for my Dodge Promaster camper van. And the reason I bought this model was because it could be left open when it was raining out, and the rain should not come in because the cover more than covers the opening. It also has a screen inside and has a 10-speed reversible fan, so you can blow air in or out. So here's what the fan looks like out of the box, and it does come with all the screws you need to screw it into your ceiling, but it doesn't come with any butyl tape or Dicor lap sealant, which is used to make this weatherproof. It also doesn't come with the cable to connect it to your battery, and I wanted to connect it to my Yeti Goal Zero 1250 12-volt Anderson power pole output port, but none of the cables on the Goal Zero website have an Anderson pole connector on one end and bare wires on the other end. So I found this website called Powerwerx.com, which lets you create custom DC power cables, and I chose that second one on the right there, which is a 2-wire configuration, and built my own cable. I selected Anderson power pole on the left hand side, then chose the wire gauge, and I forgot to enter the length, so I ended up with a 1-foot cable, but I went back and fixed that later. And on the right hand side I chose bare wires, and then I noticed the cable was too short, so I went back and fixed that. And then I ordered it, and I got it 2 days later via U.S. Postal Service, 2-day mail from California to Massachusetts. So then I had to decide where to put it on my van, and unfortunately because of the canoe and the solar panel, putting it back near the bed was not going to be an option. So my only location was up front, kind of off-center to the left of the canoe. So I don't know how you'd possibly mount one of these things where there are the deeper ribs like that. But up at the front there's this kind of area where there's less steep ribs, and I actually could mount it along the smooth side so there's no up and down in the installation. Unfortunately, when I did that, it moved the fan far enough forward that it was in the way of the canoe rack. So I had to drill a new hole in the canoe rack holder there and mount the bars further forward than they used to be. They used to be centered on that Vantech black thing. Another thing is the roof is too thin, and you need to build up the lip of the roof to, I believe it was 1 1/8 inches, in order to mount this fan. So to open it up, you pull down on that little knob and twist it counterclockwise. The controls are nice and simple. There's an auto mode that I didn't even know I was getting that turns the fan on when the temperature gets to 78 degrees or more. And there's the regular on-off. When you are running it, it runs fairly quietly at low speeds, and it doesn't seem to use hardly any electricity, maybe 4 or 5 watts. If you bump it up a couple speeds on the fan, a little less quiet, and it uses 9 watts of electricity. If I bump it up a couple more speeds, it uses 15, 18 watts. And if I go up a couple more, we're looking at 29 watts. And finally, if I go all the way up to the very fastest speed, we're looking at 30, 32 watts. So you definitely wouldn't want to run that all night long. So I wanted to see how much this would help cool off my car, so I parked my car in the sun for 30 minutes in my front yard on a 62-degree day, bright sunshine. So after 30 minutes, it was like 86, it appears, in the van, and I turned the fan on auto because it's more than 78 degrees, and then I gave it 15 minutes and came back to see how much it cooled off. And when I came back, it looked like it was up to 88 degrees. So my thought was, it must be because there's no way for fresh air to get into the car with all the doors and windows closed. So what I decided to do was open the rear doors, just a crack, and see if that helped. So this is how much I left the doors open. And I came back 10 minutes later, and there'd been virtually no change. So I thought maybe this auto mode, which doesn't seem to ever make the fan go really fast, was not working out so well. So I changed to manual mode and upped the fan speed all the way. And when I came back, the temperature had barely moved. And this is with the back door partially open. So my guess is that there was just too much sun coming in the windshield and it was heating up the car faster than the van could remove it or something. So I put up these window shields that I have and left the fan on high. And even before I left the car, the temperature had dropped a little bit, maybe almost close back down to 85, 86. So I left, waited 10 minutes, came back, and the temperature was definitely down to 85. The doors in the back were open, the fan was going on high, the car was not cooling off very much at all, so this is rather disappointing. However, that little gauge is in the front of my van, in between the driver and the passenger at the top of the ceiling. I probably should repeat this test with the gauge down lower on the floor or something to see if it's getting cool, or back by the bed or something like that. But anyway, kind of extremely disappointing that this is not going to cool off my car any better than this. So what I think I need is some windows that open and have screens that can get some airflow going from the back of the van towards the front of the van. So I was looking at this Motion Windows website, and they make some, but they're not cheap, and I'm not exactly sure if they can replace existing windows or if they have to go into an opening where there's no window. There is a guy on the web named Vince Amendola who has done a lot of work on a Sprinter van, and he put in regular household floor grates to get airflow in his van. If you have any suggestions or comments on how to get better airflow, I'd really appreciate it. At this point, I don't think this thing could clear a fart out of the back of the van. Thanks for watching.
I heat up